Conducted nationwide, this VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars, sponsored youth essay competition gives students the opportunity to write essays expressing their views on an annual patriotic theme. It was inspiring to see the High Desert students reflect on the qualities they can embody in their youth as representatives of what it means to be a good American. We have wonderful photos of recipients who are here this evening that you can see on the slides. 4 High Desert students took on the challenge and all 4 placed, which earned them scholarships from the local VFW Quartz Hill Post. The VFW Quartz Hill Post is in District 5. The first place winner from each local post moves on to the district level, and that first place winner moves on to the state and national level. Local VFW Quartz Hill Post scholarship winners are, and if you hear your name, please stand up so you can be recognized. First place, Francis Cabrera. Mr. Francis Cabrera will be reading the award-winning essay for us this evening. I hope you knew that. Second place, Michaela Williams. Third place tie between Joaquin Mejia and Michael Williams. I think I got that flipped. So I do apologize. Let me repeat that one more time. Second place, Michael Williams. Kayla. Okay. Kayla Williams, second place. Third place tie between Joaquin Mejia and Michael Williams. I do want to add that Michael Williams also placed first at the Palmdale Post, so congratulations to Michael as well. This is High Desert's second year participating in the contest and our second year taking home first and second place. Last year's winner was Francis's older brother, Augustine. Yes. Second place tie with a student from another school was Victoria Seymour. So, congratulations to them. And since we have 2 students who posted first, we have Michael Williams as well as Francis Cabrera. Can we start by hearing Francis's award-winning essay at the podium? Francis?
I think so.
Make sure his mic's working.
Hey, you might want to ask that.
First, I would like to thank the veterans of foreign wars for giving kids the opportunity to reflect and write about their country. I also want to thank the teachers and staff of the Academic School District for helping me succeed academically, and to my parents for teaching me good values. How can I be a good American? Our founding fathers built America on the basis of opportunity, equality, rights, liberty, and democracy. These deep-rooted principles apply to all citizens who have the responsibility to honor them by putting them into practice. Good Americans enforce these principles in a remarkable manner, and this makes me wonder, how can I be a good American? It is constantly said that America is the land of opportunity. Therefore, it's in all of us to seize every opportunity to work on the things that help our country move forward. Being a productive member of society will lead to bigger advancements and better benefits. As a student, I can contribute by condemning what is wrong and preventing bad incidents from occurring once more. Because of this, I follow my school guidelines as well as passing them on to friends and classmates. I also value my education, including my teachers, my principal, and also my parents. All of them teach me very valuable lessons every single day, motivating me and preparing me for what will come in the near future, and I'm grateful for having them by my side. Just like Thomas Jefferson stated in the Declaration of Independence, all men are created equal, to refer to the people of our country as one. We should embrace these words to promote people's rights and liberties. True Americans don't just think of themselves, but show an altruistic sentiment for their country. The efforts of our forefathers who fought for our rights and freedom with grit and determination paved the way for generations to come so we can enjoy the nation we have today. In the same way, today our valiant Americans who serve in the armed forces with passion and courage sacrifice their lives fighting for their rights. I feel proud and inspired by them because they set a brilliant example of patriotism. So, how can I be a good American? Well, the best way of being a good American is to adopt and utilize those fundamental principles that forged our country and my daily life. I would like to be the one to pass the torch of wisdom and determination to my peers so that they can become good Americans as well. I believe that only by doing so, we will come out stronger and more unified as a nation.
Decline a photo opportunity along with the other award winners.
Is he going to read it, the second one?
No, Michael declined, but I hope he doesn't decline a photo opportunity with the board.
Right. But before we do the photo, I'd like to run down the board if any board members have any comments regarding the presentation.
Well, as a teacher, I'm always excited to see students not only be involved in writing, but to win is awesome. So we know Portsville has some good writers too. So, young man, what a great example you are. And your essay was beautiful in a time when you see so much on the news about our country. So I personally, it touched my heart very much, and I can see why you're the winner. So thank you for representing our school district, and thank you to all the teachers that have taught you to be such a great writer, and your parents. Thank you, parents, for teaching your son such great values. And obviously it runs in your family. Is this your daughter?
Yes.
What grade are you in?
4.
Okay, so you're starting to write, so we'll be looking for your essay in a couple of years.
She has already studied.
Yeah, no pressure. No pressure, yes. And Ms. Van thank you for giving your students this opportunity to participate in such a great thing. So, and students, if you don't want to read them, we understand. Maybe you like to write, but you don't like to speak so much, but maybe you'll share a copy or something so we could read them later. I would love that. So thank you so much. And thank you, parents, for all that you do.
Before I make my comments, I would like to invite Ms. Van Ornum up to the podium and tell us about how this program is developed in your school and how your students became involved. Tell us about this. This is impressive to me, please.
Sure. Okay. Is it on?
Loud.
It's not very loud, so you gotta use the
Okay.
teacher voice.
I'll use my teacher voice. Then I might not need this. Last year, it came to our attention that the VFW had this contest. There's a middle school level competition called the Patriots Pen, which is an essay contest. And there's a high school one that actually is a video project. So we thought, okay, I think our students could really do this, and it melds immediately with our Medal of Honor program and our character development program that we talk about with courage and integrity and patriotism. And so even though we were on distance learning last year, we thought, we'll give it a go. Let's see if our students might take this on in distance learning. And we had 6 students submit essays last year, even during distance learning, and they were absolutely phenomenal. We were blown away by their essays and their sincerity. Last year's topic was what is patriotism? And we were hoping to be able to recognize Augustine last year. And so we actually started with making a video of the kids reading their essays. So there is a video of Augustine and Victoria from last year. Last year's first, we had first place and a tie for second last year. And so there's a video of both of their essays. And what started out when we were at the VFW at the awards ceremony, we started out thinking there was one recipient. And then come to find out there was another. And then come to find out there was another. And when we got there, we realized High Desert swept first through third place. Every single one of our students that submitted an essay placed out of all of the essays. So that's pretty incredible for our students and a huge tribute to their teachers, their parents, for teaching them good values. And I know all of these kids personally, and I think that their teachers and their parents would also tell you they're good Americans anyway. And so they had a lot of life experience to write about. The that makes them amazing. And, you know, I feel like High Desert helps build that within the students with our Medal of Honor character development programs. So between parents and kids that are amazing and the program, it was a great meld for us, and we're super proud of our students and their participation in the program.
Okay, so I've told you this a couple of times, I'm not big on Hallmark cards. I like numbers, I like performance, and this is how I measure the performance of a site principal. Congratulations. Give these kids an opportunity. This is very important to me. Let me tell you why. If I were in your class and my friends were in your class, you would have no voice left at the end of the first day. But for some reason, I decided to join the debate team. And while getting a D- in debate, and the only reason I was getting a D- is I couldn't compete in competitions if I had an F. Don't use that tactic, guys. But my partner and I qualified to go state championship in debating. We never got to go because it snowed. We should have took snowmobiles. I would have loved to know what it was like to have the first place trophy in my hand. But these types of things, kids, are so important because in writing skills, when you're writing to people who have served this country, when you're writing to adults who will open doors for you, you need to be objective. You need to see both sides of an issue. And then you become objective. You start putting your issues aside, and it helps you understand how people may feel so you can work together. I would encourage you to find out what debating is, because debating will take you to law school. Trust me on that one. I'm very proud of each and every one of you. I want to see you all in here next year. I want to make sure that none of the other places are filled by any other school except my school, okay? Brianna.
Mr. Pop, can I say
Yes.
one other thing I forgot to mention? All of these students submitted their video, and it will be available so that you can hear all of their essays. I didn't mention, so we've started kind of a tradition of we're going to make a video out of their essays. So that's
Great. I want to see those so I can use their work as my own. Thank you.
Huge congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to all of you parents. Thank you for coming and spending the evening with us and sharing your talents and sharing your kids. Thank you for raising incredible kids. And I, like Michelle, do know every one of these kids personally, and I do agree they all are fantastic individuals all the time. Your kids are great, and it takes courage to put yourself out there. So congratulations on having that courage. It takes courage to get up and read in front of people. So you are awesome. You guys are all just incredible. So just congratulations. Thank you.
Good evening. Congratulations to all you guys. Your speech was great. I appreciate you giving me reading your speech and understanding the importance of being a good American. We live in a time where this country's so divided in so many different issues, but at the end of the day, and it seems like you kind of captured it in your speech, that it doesn't matter the color of your skin, the color of your hair, or your eyes. We all bleed the same color, and we can have differences of opinion, and it's okay to debate them. But when you start to hold a grudge against somebody or a cause, that's where we start to have a breakdown. So it's awesome to see at your age that you're engaged in you're learning this and willing to talk about it. So keep it up. All of you guys did really good. I can't wait to see the videos when posted. And congratulations, Ms. Van Orn, for being such a good program. Hopefully good work, kids.
Well, congratulations to everybody. And it was Francis, right? Congratulations to you, and was it Michael or Michaela? The other first place that didn't want to read. I'm going to read yours, whoever doesn't. I'm looking for the videos. As a veteran, I'm always appreciative of students making that connection with their older generations. And I know my dad, when he came down when I was still teaching at the high school, he was a prisoner of war in World War II. And he was always enthralled and excited about the connection when students started looking at their ancestors, their aunts, their uncles, their grandparents, and made that connection. Ms. Van Orn and the Medal of Honor program High Desert is just one of those other connections where they get to make it, connecting the generations, going along with what Chad is talking about. We can have differences, but there's so much more that we have alike than we do different. So congratulations to you all. Very good speech there, Francis. I really enjoyed it. I'll be looking forward to looking at the videos. Congratulations to you all. Are we going to have the photo with the students up there?
I sure hope so. So yes, going back to the photo opportunity, so that we get everybody in the frame. We can start off with Francis Cabrera and his family and the board. So if you can meet us down here in front of the dais, please. And then we'll go to Michaela, and then...
There we go. Can you hear me now? Okay. Again, it's good to see you all. Coming back has been a little bit challenging, to say the least. But whenever I just hold a picture up, it doesn't mean I'm creating it. I'm just kind of explaining the journey that we're on right now. We come back and we are shorthanded, terribly. Obviously, you guys can't control that. Obviously, society can't control that. COVID is messing with our staffs. We are down teachers, we are down yard duties, we're down office personnel. And the workload doesn't change, right? And so even though we might have 4 or 5 teachers missing off of one campus, we still have the same number of students. We have still the same responsibility of educating those students. And so we are struggling at that end, to be honest with you. Morale's low, I'll tell you that, to be honest with you, just straight up. A lot of people are frustrated. That's the key word, is frustration. It manifests itself in a lot of different ways. You see this year a lot more complaints, a lot more angst, a lot more conversations that aren't always positive. We have staff who are resigning mid-year. That frustration level is growing because it's nothing that you can control, it's the state that controls it. But for more than 600 days, we've been in this, asking teachers to navigate the trenches, to teach multiple different ways. Believe it or not, the way we're doing it right now is so difficult because you have half your class quarantined and the other half on campus. I have students who have been quarantined 4, 5, 6 different times. Think about that, 60 days that they have missed of their education. Some of them never get it. It's just an exposure. So hopefully the county's guidelines that came out this week address that. Hopefully we get some relief from that. But it's the students long term who are suffering. It affects them in a lot of different ways. It affects them educationally. And again, I work in the trenches. You guys got kids that go here. You have friends and families. It's a small community. There's holes. There's deficiencies. There is concerns. And how are we going to navigate this? Is this the MO for the next 5, 6 months? Is this the MO for next year? We don't have those answers, and there's people just as like, okay, this profession's not worth it anymore. And again, I don't want to come up here and complain. Okay, I love this job. A lot of teachers love being in this position. They love being in this community. It's difficult to work in this district. It is. You have the lure, the higher dollar between both ways. I can go north, I can go south. We don't come here for the money. We come here for the quality of working here. And so I hope that you recognize the problem. I hope you see the problem. I know you don't have the answers. I wish you did. I wish you could just say, okay, throw these things away. Okay, we're going to do this. And I know you don't have that opportunity, but I do want you to know that right now, the way we're doing it is not very successful. And the people who are suffering, our customers, our families, are the ones that are feeling it the most. I'll get off the negative, sorry. I wanted to give a shout out to Mrs. Chun. Obviously, we have a turnover of leadership there. She stepped up. Again, Ada is committed and partners with this district. Yes, we might complain to you. Yes, we might have our issues, but we are committed to making sure that we serve this community. And so Mrs. Chun, obviously, all the staff members, of course, she's going to step up, and she's done a fabulous job. I just want you to, I hope you recognize that Ada does go above and beyond. The people who work the hardest sometimes are the ones that have crosshairs on them. And so I hope you're seeing that people are putting in great effort. anyways, I appreciate each and every one of you. I wouldn't want your job, but I thank you for your friendship. Mr. Jorgensen, it was good to catch up and hear your stories about the trailers and putting together the gym and just sharing that kind of nostalgia. I appreciated that. Appreciate each and every one of you. We have conversations, we know each other, we've worked with each other now for a long time. And I just thank you each one of you. Thanks again.
Thank you, Mr. Sparks. CSEA representative? No one? Student representative to the board?
Okay. For the update regarding Vasquez, just coming back to school after winter break, it's been honestly kind of depressing to see that there has been a lot of kids quarantined. In most of my classes, we have less than 10 kids at a time, but I'm glad to see that a lot of them are starting to actually be able to come back. Unfortunately, we have more postponed. I'm not sure when that will be replanned. And then winter formal is being planned by our junior class. And then a new thing they're trying to implement at Vasquez are Mustang Bucks, which will be a positive reinforcement incentive to just help kids, just give them kind of that motivation to just be good students. And regarding sports, a lot of them have been postponed for a while, but we're finally getting back into it with the girls soccer team has a game tomorrow at 4 versus Santa Clarita Christian, and boys basketball has a game versus Faith Baptist on Saturday at 11. And our softball and baseball are preparing for season. And one more thing is CSF, California Scholarship Federation. Applications are available, and they are due, I believe, next Friday. To the library, and then just basically are a good opportunity to help students who do keep their grades up, get recognition that they deserve later on once they graduate. And then regarding High Desert, PIST met to develop a positive behavior system, including incentives to increase positive behavior at the middle school. Soccer tryouts started this week and will continue into next week. They hope to build a team by the end of January, and practice will start the last week of January. And then an MOH webinar with an MOH recipient will be next week. And then finally, regarding the elementary school Meadow Arc, this is from Ms. Shen in the email I received today. She says, "We were just thrilled to return to all of our classes and engage in various learning activities. In December, they had an ASMO music performances, pictures with Santa courtesy of the VHS class of 2023, and the holiday shop. They welcome back PBIS assembly for grades K through 12, or TK through 2, sorry, on January 5th. The same assembly for 3rd and 4th graders will be rescheduled. They participated in an immersive history learning experience and a walk through the California history. And their next Spirit Day is Historical Figure Day, which is scheduled for the 28th. And that's all I have to report."
Thank you, Ms. Rudd. Yes, Ken moves.
I'll second.
Kelly. Dr. Zahaki.
But bringing the Schoolment proposal back to our school board, just to reiterate, the overarching purpose of Schoolment is to really help districts attract, retain, and maintain students at the district. This platform really is multi-layered. The specific area that we're looking at in terms of the contract is for the customer service and the customer care piece. I want to reiterate that, where an outside person who knows what to look for, what to ask, could be cold calling the superintendent, could be cold calling the assistant superintendent, the executive assistant to the superintendent, anyone on the school campus to ask questions as a prospective new parent. it's not a gotcha moment by any means, but it's to develop a plan moving forward on what are the strengths in terms of the output from the report that we get back from Schoolmen if this is approved. In addition, to plan PD for classified certificated staff in terms of how can we cater best to our current parents and prospective parents.
Board member discussion, Ms. Jensen?
Yeah, I have a couple of comments. This isn't just a check out and see what the employees are doing. This is and we have some great employees who are doing great things too, so that's a highlight. But it's also, if we can recall, if this is helping with our strategic plan. I think that we need to look at this like multi-layer. It's looking at our strategic plan. We have to stop thinking that education means you live in this district, you go to this school. Education has become very competitive. People have lots of choices now where to go to school and where to educate their children. So this is just giving us information about how we're doing. We're doing some great things, and there's things we need to improve on to work on our branding. So we did talk about branding. That's in one of our strategic plans. We talked about the need to market our schools and do some great branding, and this will just help us. I believe this will just help us with that. I also want to tie it to the LA County report that we have, and it also tells us in here, as we have declining enrollment, you're going to lose funding if you have declining enrollment, and it says here to continue to assess and adjust. So I look at this as a way for us to do an assessment and then make adjustments, do the things that we're doing great and the things that we need to improve on, because we do need to look for students. I know in a district this size, $13,000 is a lot of money. But like it says in the report, if we can retain one student or get two, we're going to be ahead. So I don't think we should be afraid of what we're going to uncover. I think that people are taking this as a way to sort of gotcha type of things, or it's not an evaluation, like you've just said. It's a way for us to evaluate our system, Facebook, Instagram, how are we marketing, what are we doing to our schools. So I think I'm for this. I think it's good for us to see where we are. We keep getting people in the community coming up here and stepping up and asking us about declining enrollment. They're constantly telling us here, but no one has an answer how to get students and retain students. And this is a way for us to start looking at it, finding some answers to see where we are. So I'm going to vote yes for this tonight.
Okay, guys, GoPro's on scatter. You know what this means? This means that, number one, I'm not sure that I can go to the district website and click on the Zoom link and know that I'm going to be able to see the meeting without the circle of death saying I can't see the meeting. Big hint there, guys. The reason my GoPro is on is because I want to make sure that what I say tonight is uploaded in a way that is not compromised by internet access interruptions, tripod malfunctions, strategically placed coughs, grunts, sighs, chuckles, snack munching, and other flatuitic distractions. I want to talk just a tad about what Kelly said. In my world, you can take spatial data, which means this house is here, this phone is here, this is over here, and then you can track that, okay? So I asked a question about an IP address, about the system's ability to look for an IP address. That's the footprint or the breadcrumb that says this inquiry come from that computer. I don't want to know who it was, I want to know where they are. So for example, Anna Verde has opened back up, they're building houses. How far is Anna Verde from here on Avenue S? It's 10 minutes. Are you through? Anyway, we both will be in December. So let's say that the IP address is spatially tracked and said that hit came from there. Let's say that they go to the Vasquez website. let's say on the Vasquez website, the first thing they see is my address to the class of 2020. How touching and stirring. But is it relevant now? No, not really. Not at all. I want to know, do they get to the 6th page before they burn out and go somewhere else? Where are they stopping? Where do they hit? My YouTube channel, I can tell what people start watching as soon as they see my face. It's over. But at the end of the day, you can track where these people are going, what they're interested in seeing, and where you lose them. Store that away with Kelly stuff. Now I'm going to get into some history and some very seedy stuff. I'm going to make up words as I go. The message in my comments, I'm not trying to steer votes. I know what it's like to have people out there bullying you, if you remember the old board. I don't care how you vote. The message in my comments on this item would be about what we can do as a board to support the administration of this district. I'm not talking about the students, we're not talking about the staff. Everything good? We're talking about the administrators who support all these other people. Separate that. This is the administration over here. We're supposed to support them. That's why we're elected. We don't run them. They run the school district. I got 20% of running him. Understand that. This agenda item, in my mind, is a critical piece to the end of this district, doing the work to be successful in capturing and maintaining the district share of the educational marketplace. That's what you all are here for. Understand that. We are here to make sure that the person that runs you all is confident in doing that. This is not a popularity contest. This is a measurable job performance. I'm seeing that in here tonight. I'm very happy. You know how rare it is to see me happy? I only have 17 more pages to go. During my comments tonight, when you see me go like this, I'm not crazy. When this goes on the internet tomorrow, the things that I say people have said and done there will be links. You can click on it. You can watch the circus for yourself. I'm going to go back about 10 years and tell you what went wrong with this district. In 6 days will be the anniversary of my first appearance at a board. It's the same. 10 years ago, 6 days from now, I began my involvement with this board. 5 years in the audience where you all are sitting, and 5 up here. So let's say I'm a veteran. I've been in the trenches. I know what is happening. In the Acton Agua Dulce News, I love the Acton Agua Dulce News because, good or bad, they memorialized everything. If there was ever a court case, they would want this for discovery, trust me. So thank you for capturing everything you do. Yeah, I work in the public sector. I've been in the public sector for 21 years. I run a division of a city that is world renowned. I didn't get there and stay there because of my charming personality and my boyish good looks. I am there because I know how to deliver a program that's in line with the expectations of a high-class system. I expect that up here. When I hear the things I'm hearing tonight, I'm telling you, you are a business manager. I like what you're selling, both of you. That's what I want to hear. I'm not here to be popular. It makes Christmas far too expensive. But the first thing I learned in public sector business was this. You do not tax people and not give them representation. Who's the history major? Why did this country break away from England? Because they send a bunch of people over here who are goofy enough to come over here and then pay 60% taxes. No taxation without representation. So simply put, if you are a public servant, the quickest way to get in trouble is for you to start messing with taxpayer money and moving it around where it's not to be spent without authorization. We're going to talk about 2013, the FICMAT report. The FICMAT report came out because we were going into negative certification, meaning you can't pay your current bills and you will not pay your bills for the next 2 years. So what LACO said back then is, live within your means. That's the bottom line, live within your means. So, a little bit after I started going to school board meetings, the leadership at that time was summed up as best like this. We had a principal at the high school that was auto-promoted to superintendent with no public process. Who runs the hiring process using public funds to pay people and auto-promotes people with a jump like that? In my world, that calls for a structural deficit that somebody doesn't want to talk about something. Anyway, that brand new principal turned superintendent took the district down the trail of using charter authorization as revenue source. I knew back then, a 4-year-old knows back then. Anybody that's a taxpayer in this district that tries to think about the school district collapsing here, what's their biggest concern? If we get pulled into Palmdale, we're going to have to pay those bond rates on our properties. Tell me I'm wrong. When I ran for this board, I made sure that it was by election, not appointment. My campaign platform was very clear. It was based on the things I had been saying all the way. And that in order for this district to be sustainable, you needed to reduce fiscal dependence on out-of-boundary charters, you restore the focus on local students, and you restore the good name of the district and the greater educational marketplace. Why do the colleges now want to come here and offer us? Because we don't have a trashed reputation as being rogue thieves of taxpayer money. Nobody wants to associate themselves with you when it affects the contracts they have and the agreements they have with LA Unified, Long Beach Unified, Beverly Hills Unified. They don't want to associate with you. That's why we couldn't get to classes. Anyway, my campaign platform was very clear. It was printed in the election ballot for 2016, which is still a matter of public record. Remember me talking about October 17th, 2016, a few meetings ago? Well, on that day, I carried my platform into the Acton Town Council candidate forum. Here's the first one. I'm going to give you a link to the meeting. I want you to watch it. I want you to look at the faces, see if any of them seem familiar to you, see how they act, see what they said. I was greeted with the Acton Town Council president at the time. So I'm not talking about the Acton Town Council. People keep coming in here. I don't like the way you talk about the Acton Town Council. I'm not talking about the Acton Town Council. I'm talking about if you were the president of the Acton Town Council on October 17th, 2016. I'm talking about you, and you know it. So I was immediately hit by that president challenging my opposition to the charter plan. What's your plan, Fallscraft? Live within your means. So I was teed up to have the president of this board, think about this, the acting president. This would be like Tim Jorgensen walking into the candidate forum that's coming in October of this year and injecting his bias into a candidate forum. In what world does that happen? Anyway, I was teed up. At the time, the president inserted his bias, basically called me misinformed and attempting to mislead the very public that I was seeking to vote to. Look, click the link. Watch it happen. That night, the public of this town, October 17, 2016, the public of this town was misled by its own leaders who were either being false in the information, or they were too naive to understand basic principles of why this country broke away from England. Take your pick, it doesn't matter. The public was sucked into believing that the charter plan and associated finance were stable, legal, and sustainable. I want to say this. This board has been constantly bashed. This platform is being set up. So just in case there are any confusions about the public comments from the podium that I don't like the Acton Town Council, or that I am consistently violating my own civility statement that was one of the year I was president, this is one of my initiatives. Do you think that I should just love these people and give them respect when they come up in my own community and call me a liar? And then stand up here at the microphone every couple of weeks now and say, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't care what you like. Watch the movie. Fast forward, I won the election. Within 45 days of the 17th of October 2016 meeting, the superintendent, who was the architect of the plan, resigned 5 minutes before I was sworn in. 3 board members subsequently voted to put that person on as a fiscal budgetary consultant, inform our budget, while him and a former employee simultaneously, while serving as a consultant to this district, informing its budget, moved first over $350,000 of the educational SPED funding, and then turned around and pulled more than $600,000 of enrollment. So we're talking about $1 million went out the door right away. While you're serving as a consultant, 3 board members voted for that to happen. So what did I do? I immediately took the practice of putting these charters through the ringer and saying, what are you doing here? What are you doing there? Watch the old board meetings. I'm getting tore up by everybody up here. Why are you asking that question? You're all paranoid. There's nothing nefarious going on here. I recall the Valiant material revision hearing. I asked questions while being assaulted by my board. Acton Aadusd News, you're great. You captured all this for me. Thank you. Without you, I wouldn't be able to give you the story. But I asked the very questions of that charter of the people standing right there while I was being assaulted by my own board, that the grand jury, our superintendent, Larry King, Lynn David, all these people were coming in to try to fix this mess, were being questioned by the grand jury. Isn't that great? But the grand jury, the district attorney, and the judge were asking the same questions when they indicted these people for the theft of $50 million. And let me make something very clear to you. Without that board, the ones that voted against my obvious protest, Valiant would never have been able to abscond with $50 million of taxpayer money. They opened the door to it while criticizing me. It's all in the movies. Watch it. I want you to think about that $50 million. What did Vasquez cost to build? What was the district share? $12 million. We could have built another 4 Vasquez campuses with what these people stole. $50 million. But guess what? None of it was our money. It wasn't ours to take. So, while I'm being constantly bashed in the newspaper, the AV Press, the Santa Clarita Valley Press, and even the LA Times is touting me as an advocate for taxpayer responsibility and funding. This is the LA Times, that's me. That's our buses. You can tell it's me. I got a fat belly. Look, Mommy, it's me. I got the best fat belly in town, right here. But I can't get any respect out of my own press in this town. I'm holding it up so everybody can see it. Get that on film. Moving on. Within 6 months of the October 17th, 2016 Acton Town Council meeting, the AEA charter began to unwind. 14 months later, the charter was defunct. When the board president took after me in the Acton Town Council meeting, he said that they had MOUs, this district had MOUs that would protect the district from any financial liability related to the charters. I specifically said special ed. The debts of that charter were dumped on this district despite the board president's guarantees that they could not be. Anybody at that table right there, in fact, I might be quoting one of them right now, said to me, for your MOU to be of any value, you have to have the money behind it, or it's worthless. So there were settlements. Those kinds of settlements are discussed back there in closed session. Think about this. You're sitting in closed session. You are fixing what these other people ran from. They go to Capel, they go to Apple Valley. Get on the internet, you can find them now. Nice list of former employees. But you are sitting back there while you're trying to fix it, having mud slung all over you from somebody else, and you have an attorney telling you, this is the best you can do. So your decision-making process is based on, do I want them to take $500,000 from our kids? Or should we let this go to court, and when the jury hears it, they give an award of $3 million. So we're back there making those decisions. Anybody that's ever sat in closed session knows that you can't come out here. And for you to sit in closed session, that would have meant that you have sat on a board at one time in your life and you should know better. It's going to get juicy now. The reward that this board has had, and I'm talking about that one down there, I'm talking about the one over here who have not been noisy, who have kept silent while I've been running my mouth. We're getting bashed in the local newspaper. Oh, there's nothing to report out of closed session, nothing to report out of closed session. You know you can't report this stuff out of closed session. But it's almost as if the public is being groomed to believe that because we can't report this stuff when you know we can, that we are hiding information from the public. Thank you very much. Well, guess what? I got a surprise for you all. In the case of the AEA failure and the financial impact on the district I'm talking about, there are 5 people besides this board who know exactly what happened. Do you know why? Because they were on the board of AEA when it was unfolding. And those people were informed in closed session. We got this parent suing us for this. We got this parent suing us for that. We're doing this and this. All that's being dumped on them. Well, the person that was brought in to glide path AEA into the ground and dump the debts on this district was smart enough to send emails out to parents talking about schools closing. Zoom in. Schools closing. Different alternatives when boards didn't approve your charter. Encouraging you not to talk about it on Facebook. That person was smart enough to make sure that they documented that the board of AEA knew exactly what was going on. I have emails that show the names of these people. Why? Because I was a parent of one of the students. Now, if you're a great investigative reporter, you would want to know who these people are, because they can tell you now. What do they got to lose? Their organization is defunct, their board has collapsed, and if they said, yeah, he's right, this is what was coming in front of us, unfortunately, we didn't mean to do it or whatever, what are the other board members going to do? The other 4 board members are like, dude, why are you talking about this now? I'm trying to get this behind me. So, what would happen if one of those said, here's what happened? Oh, the other board members are going to run to the DA and go, hey, Brown Act violation. No, they're not going to do that. If the DA looked at it and said, the remedy is already in place. Your district is bankrupt. Your board is, I don't even want to hear this. But there are names on here that you might find very interesting. Indeed. Now, again, if I were an investigative reporter, I would say, hey, Fallsgraph, I want to see that thing that you put up there. See, it's got a triangle on it. It's a red triangle, so ask me for it. Maybe the Acton Ivy Dulce News will ask me for it, print it. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay. So, what's going to be said here is, well, Fallsgraph, what's your idea? Live within your means. Well, we can't do that. And besides that, while we were doing this, we got $4 million a year. That's great. Well, one charter come back and said, we want our money back. The DA said we want our money. Why didn't the rest of them want their money back? Well, because there's probes into that. You start asking for your money back, then the feds come in and they start looking around. Maybe some people didn't want to go through that. I guarantee you, if I was sitting on the board of one of those charters and I found this out, I'd be chasing this district for money. Statute of limitations is passed. How terrible that our superintendent has to sit here and listen to this. But the charter was a moneymaker, right? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't I compare this to the grow houses that are popping up in our community? Hey, they're moneymakers, right? Let's say I set up a grow house. I come in and I spend $750,000 for one, right? And then I spent $250,000 to equip the house with all my, if you see like 74 air compressors, it might sound wrong, right? Anyway, I set up my grow house. I spent, say, $4 million a year, same as the charter revenue, dope out of that house. And I get busted because it's illegal. It's not permitted. Should any of them be permitted? I know that all the dope that shows up in our bathrooms, that's all from permitted grow houses, right? But anyway, I lose, I spend $250,000 setting up the grow house. The feds come in, everybody comes in. They don't even arrest these people. They give them a ticket. Like, I jaywalked with my bicycle. Here you go. Don't do this anymore. So then they bust up the house. Oh, here, let me smash your stuff. So I got $250 going, plus $250. That's $500,000. But I still made $350,000 or $2.5 million, right? Yay, I'm the winner. Well, guess what? Why am I comparing these two? Because they're directly comparable. Both are illegal. Both create false economies. They collapse community faith. And they undermine the idea that there is a shortcut to good hard work. Then what's really amazing is at the end of it all, the architects of the plan, whether it's a grow house or a charter school scheme, district, what does that say? School district caught in fraud scheme. Acton Agudosy agrees to pay back $727,000 on one charter. That's what it says. I didn't print that myself. Anyway, the same people that would criticize me, that attack me in front of my community and call me a liar, come along later and say, well, I'm going to criticize you because you didn't use the illegal gains to build my pet project, or in the case of grow house, well, you didn't get out of there before you could build another grow house. But what we have happening in here is, why didn't you work out a payment plan with the DA, right? Sorry, this is not budget auto sales. They didn't want to hear that. Or maybe you could drag a bunch of kids in and plead with the judge, use kids as human guilty. This is not a charter renewal. The judge didn't care about that. You're a criminal. Or here's the best one. Prompt somebody up to come right up there and say, why did this board rob the community of the tennis court, the swimming pool, and the basketball court by not choosing to use the illegal funds as a funding source? I know that Mr. Mirza, Dr. Mirza, is just waiting to put an application in to LACO or the state of California or just to say, hey, you know what, yeah, we're going to build this, and the funding source is charter revenue or a grow house or some other thing I got going. Oh, the grow house we're going to use is permitted right now. Wait a minute, didn't I ask for all that to be on the agenda? I don't guess you have to put it on there now because I just explained it all. I'm going to turn to the LACO budget review letter to President Jorgensen, which is why I read that in the record. It says very clear there's huge liability in the charters because back in the old days, you lose one kid at 3.5%. You have 28 kids that are out there that you don't even know exposure on 28 kids instead of focusing on one. I want to read you something pretty funny. Love the action of Aadusd News. I got two of these, by the way. April 4th, 2012, the superintendent talked about a charter school that they would ultimately, that the district would receive about 3.5% of the charter's gross income, potentially 100,000 to 250,000. Right? He hoped it would save the district his salary. I love that motivation. Hey, give me the money, right? I'm sorry if I'm upsetting you. So, the message from Laco is this. This is the same one 8 years ago. You gotta live within your means. And had somebody done that 5 years before the FICMAT report of 2013, you would not be in this situation. I would not be up here. That in itself should be reward enough for somebody to live within their means. We've done the corrective work to get to a point where we can hire somebody who's actually silly enough to come in here and say, hey, me and my team, we're going to go out there and take our market back. We're going to focus on your local students, their educational success, and maintain your identity and brand value in the educational community regionally. So what I have said tonight, it will be all over the internet tomorrow, so go ahead and spin it any way you want. Make a top out of it. Watch the movies. I want to talk a little bit about customer service with this. Hey, newsflash, I hung the boat last time on purpose because with these two gone, we've done the work. I don't care about Mint. I don't even know who Mint is. I understand the process that they use. But I also have a respect for the superintendent to do the work to come forward and not be second guessing them while I'm building a platform at the expense of the people who've done the work that you created for us to do. I'm not interested in that. But it was with great concern that I read Julie's comments in the AV press about this. Now, Julie writes what's sad, and she doesn't have a bunch of dots and question marks and whatever in her article. She actually, so I think they have a budget over there where they can keep keyboards that don't malfunction. But it was basically saying that our district has employees that are untrained, front-face employees that are untrained. I take great exception to that. Look at me. I'm in the Los Angeles Times for what I am, but yet I'm representing an organization where people don't know what to do. Ridiculous. I inquired when this first come up. I don't just sit up here and listen to myself talk. I asked this district leadership or the employee unions, associations consulted about this. Did they present any objection? Now, I don't see the union rep being shy. I mean, he'll stand up there and tell me that my hair is a mess. So they're not shy at all. And I didn't hear anything from them. In fact, I think that they're not worried that somebody's going to come in here and think them out to be anything other than the fine employees that they are. So I want to address a couple concerns here. This is coming from me. If you're a parent and you want the truth, you come to the right place to get it. If you believe that this district continues on with a hiring practice in which positions are filled or even influenced by the affluence of influence, affluence, look that word up, then you are wrong. If you believe that people are auto-promoted without an objective review of a qualified pool of candidates in which the best one that applied is selected, you are again wrong. And if you are an employee, you are unable to be the face of the district, to be friendly to your customers, and conduct yourself in a positive manner, to understand your job description, understand that if you are being paid to be at work, then you be at work. If you feel that you're not qualified to do your job, if you feel that you're not placed properly, if you feel that you don't understand your job description, that you need training or counseling, you need to contact HR immediately. They will be responsive to you. If they are not responsive to you, then we are here to make sure that they are responsive to you. Back to the Ken show. That wasn't enough. I have worked for the MGM Mirage Resorts Corporation, the Disney Corporation, for a city with a name and a brand that is recognized immediately worldwide. I have run a division of that city. The buck stops here in that division going into my 21st year. And again, I don't have a glowing personality or boyish charm. I'm good at what I do. The people that I run are good at what they do. And as a team, we produce the kind of results that everybody who does what I do wants my job and my team's job. I don't know what it's like to work for a second-rate agency. If you know, please call me. I want to know how you feel. Because I'm completely ignorant of that. My expectations for this district are no less than what I put on myself at work. I'm going to say this because I have the right to say this. Oh, by the way, I'm talking about Chad too. Chad works for these corporations. It's not about being nice. It's about you get them trucks there, you film the show, you have a bunch of crap going on, and you're fired. Tell me I'm wrong, Chad. Sorry to just drag you into this. But I have the right to say this because I've worked hard to have the right to say this. Of all the top-end organizations I have worked for, of the hundreds and thousands of people that I have encountered that work for these corporations, I will stack Shiloh, our own Shiloh, up against any and all comers in the area of customer service. And I would very much expect that if I get nothing but my face slapped in the newspaper every week, then this district should be able to, on my behalf, recognize Shiloh for her customer service contributions. And then I would say, you continue to look because there's many more like her in this district that just are nice to people. With Shiloh, you don't have to be anybody to be everybody in this district. When you fail one kid, you fail everybody. Oh, last page, check it out. I just spread COVID to this paper. Board members and public, thank you for your patience with my comments tonight, because I've been waiting 10 years to make them. I want to move on now, because there's a lot of baggage that's got addressed. Spin it any way you want. The movies are up there, the movies here. I don't want to revisit this stuff anymore. If you're going to run for board, run, get elected, sit up here. Could you do that just once, maybe? I don't know. We all did it. But I'll tell you this, I'm very proud of this superintendent. I'm pointing at you. There's a vision, determination I have not seen in the decade that I have put into this room or a room like this. 5 out there, 5 up here. I used to look at Tim when he was a union president, and he would look at me, and we would both look at each other like, we must be really in rough shape to be hanging out here like this. But the way your team operates, your drive and vision, the quick ways that things are happening that are measurable, that these two won't talk about, and these two are going to have to take over. It's very exciting for me. It gives me a great deal of comfort. Our administrators work well as a team. You're not all undermining each other, at least not out in the open. Seeing your teamwork gives me a great deal of hope for the future of this district. My campaign promises have all been reached. There's no reason for me to be up here. I might just resign and just go out and play bash people in the newspaper like I've been trained so well to do. I've been through the trenches up here. And I want to assure any parent or staff that questions who I am and what I'm all about. Here's what I've always been here to do, to assure that we work to earn the respect and business of all of our customers, and that's the students, to advance the educational endeavors of our students, all of the students, not just 1 or 2, the group that will vote for you later, all of the students. If you fail one, you fail all. To maintain a regional respect for the work we do as a valid educational choice for the the students of the region. We may not be the fit for everybody, but we are fit for quite a few. And at one time, there was 2,200 that wanted to be here. Here's what I'm not here to do. I am not here to second guess the superintendent and cherry pick those things that appeal to me or benefit me personally or any of the flying monkeys I got in my crowd. And in the process, handcuff the superintendent by saying, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that, you can't do this to this, until he burns out, leaves, and opens the door to the next one to be groomed into the next failure of our students district-wide. There's a compliment in there somewhere for y'all. That said, I have a question, I'm done. This is a very pointed question. Superintendent, again, I don't care about Mint, I don't care who the contract is with. I went through a couple months ago and wanted to know, hold harmless, insurance, all that, competitive bid. I don't want somebody coming back and saying, oh, well, you didn't bid this out to anybody, you did a sole source deal with taxpayer money. But that said, Superintendent, is it your recommendation to this board that this action item is necessary in your goal to move this district to a position of independent fiscal stability while meeting the educational needs of the students who freely choose this district to deliver their education? That's a yes or no answer.
Absolutely, yes.
I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, now for my 15 minutes of fame. Just kidding, this will not.
Turn the timer on, Tim.
3 minutes. Okay. I am not against bringing in School Mint or bringing in a program like School Mint. I am not opposed to it. I am opposed to it right now. And here's why. If I'm a baseball coach and I'm going to go have a scrimmage, take my team, have a scrimmage, fun game, I pay nothing to enter. It doesn't matter. As long as my kids are physically fit to play, we can go play with no practice. We'll see how we're doing. We'll see where we need to improve. We'll move on from there. If I'm paying to enter a tournament, I'm paying to take the best team possible. That means that I'm going to take my players that I know are great. I'm going to practice with them. We're going to run the drills. We're going to give them all of the tools that they need. And then we're going to go enter the tournament that I'm paying for. So bringing that back to School Mint, we do have an incredible team. They're in place. We got them. So many players on my team are brand new to the positions that we have them in. That's not saying that they're not great. They're great. They're great at what they do. Can we give them a little more practice? Can we give them a little more drills? Can we develop them into superstar athletes and then pay for the $13,000 tournament? That's what I'm saying, is that we need to give them time. Most of them, we have 7 front office staff, all but one have been here for less than a year. They've been in their position for less than a year. We have 2 principals, both of them are brand new. They do not have the practice, they do not have the drills, they don't have the tools that they need to go enter the tournament. So let's give them practice. Looking at the bullet points on what this is going to look at and tell us and give us feedback on, I can give you feedback. The quality of our social media accounts, not there. We don't have it. We fail at that part already without paying $13,000. I tell you, we fail at that part. The ease of signing up electronically for an in-person tour at the school. I have no idea how to do that. And I worked in the front office for a couple years. I have no idea how we would sign up for a tour. I'm thinking that we fail at that part. We have an IT department that is fantastic at what they do. Can they look and put fresh eyes and pretend that they're new and go into our website and see if it's easy to use? I think they can. I think that we do have paid employees that can answer some of these questions
give us the best practice possible, go through, do some drills, make sure that we have our team ready to go, ready to play, and then pay the $13,000 to enter that tournament. Now is not the time to pay $13,000 for this tournament. We need practice first.
All right, where do I start? Thanks for bringing me into your rant, by the way. That'll be front page news tomorrow, how you and I are connected in some weird way. Yeah. And we're not, by the way, okay? We're not. As far as Mint goes, correct me if I'm wrong, this is it's just looking at the customer service piece of our district, right? Meaning our front office, how our front office deals with people coming into the office, how they call the district office, how they're taken care of over the phone, that kind of sort of thing, right?
Correct. Just that one element of the customer care that's being provided by district office and school sites, not just specific to office staff.
So my opinion of this is that, well, yes, we can look at the bullet points and we can probably identify 4 or 5 of those that need a lot of work. Will this organization help you come up with new ideas that will work better in our scenarios?
To answer that question, there's a synopsis of the customer service, customer care assessment that they'll make. They'll go ahead and share it with me and my wonderful team to my right to go ahead and really hone in on the marketing and branding component of customer service and customer care, not only for our existing parents that they're our clients, but prospective families that we're trying to attract to the district.
So we're trying to attract new people, fresh people from outside of town. Those of us that have been in this town for a long time, we can go around, we can point fingers at who's not doing what right, and we may or may disagree. She may think this person's great, I may think that person's horrible, vice versa. What Mint's going to do, Mint's going to have an unbiased opinion of the people they contact within our district and our schools. It's not about a gotcha moment. It's about getting an unbiased opinion of what that person does or does not do well or does good. It's an evaluation. So to me, if we're going to try to grow our district and we're going to try to come up with new ideas and we're going to try to get out of the small rinky-dink western town and get our ADA back up to 2,000 students, we need new ideas. We need bold ideas and we need fresh ideas. So for me, I'm willing to spend the $13,000 to get analysis from an outside person, an outside contact that has no opinion or personal vendetta against any person. And that, unfortunately, in this town is to a detriment because so often we want to cut each other's throats. And you can be a great person, I can be a great person, but we never get past that little thing. So I'm for this. I'll stop talking, but I'm all for Mint. Spend the money. Let's get some outside opinions. And if you suggest and you feel that it will help you get your brand and get your district to another level, then we hired you for that job. I hung my hat on your last name. And in fact, when it came down to who was going to get picked, I dug my heels in the ground, and he said, we're not leaving this room until we all agree. And I'm going to trust your opinion. If you say we need it, and it'll help us, then let's do it.
Board President, matter of business. I move that we extend the meeting to 11 o'clock. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Kelly seconds. Call the question.
Kelly Jensen, aye.
Paul Schaff, aye.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, aye. Tim, please, before you move on, I have a comment to make about something Chad said, and I don't typically do this, but to what Chad said, if I come back and they present a report that consists of that guy, that person isn't doing this, I will be looking for someone's head. Because if that person does not have the technology, if they don't have the tools, if they don't have the things that Brianna's talking about, then pointing out and personalizing the system as them being the failure is the most ignorant thing I've ever heard of. But say, for example, the things I'm talking about, the internet hits, the this or this. You guys are trying to staff kids that have more at home. I get that. If somebody says, here's kind of where the process is faltering, and most consulting teams have different people that have specialties in different things. And if that person says there's an easy fix that you might implement through your IT department, and they use their expertise to provide that pathway, that's what this is about.
If I could comment on that, Mr. Fallsgrave.
I'm just saying what Chad said is very important, and it mixes with what Brianna is saying. Don't personalize this about an individual, please.
If I could just make a very quick comment, I need to concur with that statement. It's an objective assessment. It's not a gotcha type of assessment whatsoever. There are no names that are being called out. It's just an objective assessment of what's in place, what's going well, what's not, and where the improvements could actually come from.
And I would hope that those come with recommendations about what those improvements might look like. I'm done.
Correct.
I have one more thing to add, Mr. President. It was suggested by our speaker tonight that we use somebody internally, that this Mint proposal could be done somewhat internally. I don't know if that speaker has been paying attention or not, but every meeting for the last 2 or 3 or 4 of them, we've had Ada and teachers and principals up here saying how everybody's overworked and doing 2 and 3 and 4 jobs. We have superintendents playing principal. We have SPED teachers playing principal. Our staff's overworked. Period. End of story. There's no more to give. So let's spend a little to get a lot, is what I'm saying. That's all I have.
I do have one comment, one question. I'm so sorry. My comment, I don't know if the personal, nothing I said is personal to anybody. So I just wanted to make that clear. I'm not up here speaking on behalf of other people because I'm friends with anybody or not friends with anybody. None of my comments were personal in any way. I just want that to be clear. But my question is, I might be mistaken, but Ken said something about it's going to track clicks and see where that person is. Is this tracking people who click on our?
No.
That was my,
No.
Okay.
no, those are my words. What I'm saying is, that people clicking on your site, wouldn't it be nice to know that it's not somebody looking for a volleyball game because they're a parent here? It's like, wait a minute, those kids are coming from 10 miles from the district. I would want to know that information immediately. It's not our right to find out who they are and send missionaries to knock on the door or something like that. No, I want to know where our marketing should go. And I think that somebody could ask these people in this process, can you do that? And as a board member, I'm saying you should report that back to me. No, they couldn't do that. But here's spatially, because my expectation is we're not just going to pay those people to say, your website didn't have the basketball game on it. No. Or your website's outdated with ball draft running its mouth. No. It's, here's what it is. Here's how you get to where you go. And I think that's one thing. But that was put on the table by me. That's my expectation. I mean,
I'm sorry, I have to chime in one more time as well. So you need to think of it this way too. If we had 2 more students, what we saw tonight, you don't think in the Antelope Valley somewhere 2 more students or from Santa Cruz or in the Antelope Valley could just come to this board meeting tonight and see what High Desert did and see what our high school is going to do to help students. You don't think in this valley we could get 2 kids here? I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face. We have a great system here. We should have people begging to come. We should have our office having people enrolling students here every single day because this is a great district. We have great administrators. We have great things going on. So this isn't about like, oh, is somebody going to come in? And
we're in the game. We're in the game. It's time to play ball. So we need to get going and figure out where we're strong, what's going. We need to assess. We should not be afraid to assess what we're doing because we're doing some darn good things here. What we need to do is stop wasting time trying to get people. We could spend the next 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months talking about branding. No, we should be branding tomorrow. We need to get people in here, find out where our strengths are, and get this thing going. You assess what you're doing so that you can make yourself better, and you should always have a goal. And I'm going to say, and I said it when I was a board member, my thing was we should be branding. We should be telling the world we have a great district, and we should have people that have cars, getting in their cars, turning them on every morning, and driving their kids to our district. That's what I'm looking for. So what's the item for this?
Yeah, but Kelly, to be fair, you have to understand that some people were willing to accept the risk of sponsoring 28 students in a charter school with all that risk, so they might be hesitant to try to get 2 students back to their own. Please, really? I can't believe it. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done. You have run me out of air, which is a feat.
Okay, I'm going to wrap this up with my comments and then we'll get ready to. So to me, hearing all the comments today, this is an investment to efficiency. It's an investment in our students. It is not an evaluation. It's an observation of what they see. Here's what I experienced so that we can take that as constructive criticism, observation, and say, oh, I know my job description. I've gone through my job and I think I'm doing a really good job. But then someone will come in and say to Tim, no personal, no name, they would have an experience in the event and say, and I go, you know what, geez, yeah, I could have done that a little bit better. It's an observation in us to get better at what we do. Like Kelly says, and Ken and Brianna and Jeff, we're a damn good school district. And I've coached some successful winning teams. Just because I won doesn't mean I want to know how I can do it better. I go out and say, what did you see? What did you see? What did you see? And they point things out to me that I didn't see because I thought I was doing it okay. And I made an adjustment. I pulled in somebody here and I asked this person and I built this network where I could do it. It's a great opportunity for what I think is an affordable price that this small gem outstanding district can look at itself and say, you know what? Let's confirm what we're doing. And if there's something that we can do a little bit better, we're willing to invest in our students to get it done. It's not personal. There's no name identification. It's not tracking them by position. It's saying, here's an observation that I had. It's completely innocuous. It's just, here's an observation. I came in and I asked about this, and guess what? Your employee was very nice, but they didn't know what this. Okay, so now we know we can address it about branding. They didn't know something because we hadn't trained them. It's a deficiency that we think we're looking at it and we're doing really good, but there's a lot of little shadows that an independent observation can catch that we can't see. Because there's not one person on this board, none of our certificated staff, none of our classified, and none of our management, they're all doing a good job. And they think they're doing their job the best. But I bet you, I guarantee I go in there and say, Dr. Murphy, you and I had a chat on the sideline at the soccer game, and we were doing exactly what we're talking about. We were exchanging ideas. I was making observations. You were taking observations to me. I learned from you. You learned from me. And guess what? The kids are going to win. Nothing personal. It's just, here's what it is. It gives us another tool to get better at what we already do good. Not what we're doing wrong. It gives us a chance to do better at what we already do good. They go like, because I've got one bit of history and then I'm going to climb it because everybody's done talking about this. At the high school, the community reaction was that was trailer trash hot. And that offended me to no end. I would talk to my ASB students, I'd talk to my students, I'd talk to my colleagues on the staff, and we say, "Ooh, where are they getting this?" So we were getting this observation from the community. Oh, I said, trailer trash hot. Nobody wants to go there. And we had 600-700 students there.
And we turned it around because we listened to what we observed. And we heard these things and we kept saying, how can we get better, get better, get better? We've hired an exceptional superintendent. We have some great support staff, and Michelle and Dr. Mercer. We've got Dr. Murphy, we've got Michelle Van Ornen, we've got Ms. Chung filling in for Miller. We've got a great team. Guess what? You can do it a little bit better. I'm not going to lower the bar and say, hey, nice job. I'm going to say thank you for your hard work and your contribution, but we've got to stay humble. We've got to keep moving. And this is going to give us an opportunity through independent observation to give us an idea of things that we don't see. Oh, yeah, you know, you're right, I can do that better. Because I want people telling me when I'm not doing my job good. And I take those observations. Now, do I get, oh, God, yeah, I get a little okay. But I learn from that and I move forward. Okay, so any other questions from the board? Hearing none, call the question.
Kelly Jensen, aye.
Fallsgraf, aye.
Brianna Texoni, no.
Chad Wadsworth, aye. Tim Jorgensen, aye. Motion carries 4-1. 12B was tabled. 12C, purchase of sped bus for transportation. And I need a motion to open this, please.
I'll motion.
Chad will second. Who, Brianna, you motion?
Brianna, yes.
Brianna and Chad, okay. Dr. Zahakian.
Thank you, Mr. Jorgensen. This expenditure is going to be, if approved, coming from the Southwest Special Education Funding. I believe it is the second request, that it's a second bus request, but Mr. Mirza is ready, has the mic in his hand. I'll turn it over to him.
Yeah, this is just the approval of the second bus that was put in the SELPA plan, and the dollars were allocated to purchase 2 school buses.
Any questions from board members?
Kelly?
Mr. Mirza, can I use this money to build a swimming pool?
No.
Oh, I don't like you. Go ahead.
Brianna?
Any questions?
Chad?
I have no questions, thank you for your diligence.
I have one. Is it going to have polished aluminum wheels? Like Palmdale, I'm so jealous of Palmdale buses. They look great, that's a great brand. The district looks terrific because they got terrific looking buses. I don't know what the heck they're doing. Waxing them, washing them, whatever.
It has a wheelchair lift.
Okay, we're in. I've never seen one of those.
If we're here any later, I'm going to need it.
When I was at the board conference back in December, I was actually able to tour the brand new buses, and man, do they smell good. So those kids are super lucky, the kids that get to ride on them. So very cool.
Any further questions from the board? Hearing none, call the question.
Kelly Jensen, aye.
Fallsgraf, aye.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Chad Wadsworth, aye. Tim Jorgensen, aye. Motion carries 5-0. Let's see, this is what? 12D. City of Palmdale Parks and Recreation Agreement for Vasquez Swim Team Practices. Move to open, please.
Kelly Jensen.
Kelly.
I second. Brianna.
Brianna, second. Dr. Zahakian.
Thank you. Just the agreement highlights, it's quite exciting. If approved, the agreement will go into effect February of this year through April. So a couple of months for 40 uses of the swimming pool for Vasquez swim team for their practices. And the total cost, you see there, the dollar amount of $2,983. The funding source is coming from VHS's site funds, school site funds.
Board discussion? I just have one comment. I recall that when I was athletic director, we were using this as McAdam Park, correct?
Yes.
That's correct. Correct. And we took our swim team out there. We were able to host swim meets there. We practiced there. And then at the end of our season, they closed it down, and now it's a remodeled pool. And it's within distance, so our parents can go and watch their kids swim. And they have lanes, and there's volunteers to do the timing and everything like that. So it's a great opportunity for our swim team to actually host an event in our community or close to it, rather than go all the way to the aquatic center in Castaic. So I think it's an awesome thing. Any further discussion from the board?
Are they gonna heat that for the kids? Hope so.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful. Oh, the other thing is they provide the lifeguards and everything, so it's really an awesome setup.
Can I use this money to buy a bus?
No. Chrome wheels maybe, but not a bus. Call the question.
Kelly Jensen, aye.
Falls grab aye.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jordan tonight, 5-0, move carried. 12E, Resolution 2021-22.09, authorizing use of remote teleconferencing provisions, AB 361. Motion to open, please.
I'll make a motion.
Kelly.
Brianna Texoni will second.
Brianna, Dr. Zotkin.
Just really quick, this is a standard monthly, it's a requirement if we are going to go ahead and continue to provide the ability for boards to have remote meetings during emergency state, so. And AB 361.
And this would be as if there was something that we had to close down because of COVID, we would be able to go right into doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Board discussion?
None.
Hearing none, call the question.
Kelly Jensen, aye.
Falls grab aye.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, aye, carries 5-0. Calendar. June 13th, regular board meeting will be our next, that's going to be calendar, that's today. The next board meeting, January 27th, and the following will be February 10th. Future agenda items. Any board member have anything for future agenda items?
What do y'all think about using charter revenue as a revenue source?
Fails to carry, nobody's commenting. I don't have, nobody has anything? Do you have anything?
No, sir.
Now, other than the tabled item will be on a future agenda as you seem appropriate for that item that we tabled.
Right, perhaps on January 27th for our next board meeting.
Right. Correct. Okay, nothing there? Okay, adjournment, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion, Brianna.
Brianna?
Chad will second it.
Chad seconds. Call the question.
Kelly Jensen, aye.
Sam, thank you for your patience tonight. That needs to get on the table. A door just opened this evening. There will be accountabilities that go with that door being open, but I very much appreciate your willingness to do the work that needs to be done. That should have been done about that. Falls grab aye.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, aye. We stand adjourned at 10:17. Thank you, everybody.